Hi everybody, it's Heather,
Hi, and I'm Nigel.
and so we're bringing you another little video update thing. Now we're staying right now with my mom's cousin Martha in Florida near Sarasota, and so you're going to hear lots of planes fly by probably and stuff like that. We can't really do anything about that, but it's such a nice day we wanted to sit outside, so you may hear that. Also, I'm wearing Eve by Envy in Chocolate Cherry. So I just wanted to let you know why we're down here and some other things that are going on and coming up and stuff like that. You know, I just made a cup of coffee, so I figured now's the time. Let's do this. So right now we're down here visiting family because my great aunt Kitty passed away. She passed away on Sunday, which, you know, my mom's really upset because a little bit about my family history. I've told some of you guys about this already, but my mom's mom passed away when she was 6. She died from SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus, I think that's what that's called, or something like that. But it's like lupus that like attacks your internal organs and stuff like that. And in the case of my maternal grandmother, it basically like destroyed her female reproductive organs, it destroyed her intestines, it destroyed her kidneys finally, and that's what killed her. And because this was in the 60s, they didn't know what was going on, so they were just like, it's some kind of mystery illness, until basically right when she died. The way that my mom tells the story is basically she went in for a hysterectomy and it never came out. So my great aunt Kitty was my maternal grandmother's sister. And so she basically stepped in as my mom's mom, basically. And so this has been a big deal for my mom. In addition to the other members of the family, they're really bummed out. My Aunt Kitty, by the way, died from complications of cancer. It was basically everywhere. She was in her 80s, and she started off, I mean, lifelong smoker, started off with cancer in the lungs, ended up going to the breast, which ended up getting into her bones and into her blood, and, you know, maybe not in that order. And then she ultimately passed away from it. And I just want to say a couple words about my Aunt Kitty, because she was pretty cool. Aunt Kitty was not like a typical grandmotherly type at all. She was basically like #life goals grandma, because she like after she turned 60, basically a switch got flipped in her head, and she was like, you know what, I'm just going to be a badass. And so, you know, she bought a Harley and, you know, went skydiving and parasailing, scuba diving with sharks and barracuda, like skiing, like all after the age of 60. Like, so she was not the kind of person that would just like sit there and take anything, you know. So you know that woman fought this cancer as hard as you can, and that really brings to mind something that I every year around, you know, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, there's all this, like, they call it pinking, or something like that, where a lot of the stores and stuff, especially those who have, you know, cancer patients in their client base, they basically make everything pink for breast cancer awareness. And I have kind of mixed feelings about that personally, because I have a sociological background with a strong emphasis on social psych. And one thing you realize that, you know, while that kind of dialogue really does give people confidence and it helps them get through something really rough like this, for others it can add another layer of frustration, because like in the case of my Aunt Kitty, like she never just laid down and took anything. Like, she jumps out of planes for fun, you know, or jumped out of planes for fun. So this is not somebody that, you know, lost to cancer. You know, it's not like she just didn't, you know, put up a fight or something. She didn't lay down and take it. It just, that's cancer, you know. It's just, that's what it does sometimes. And I mean, I know that that's not like really encouraging or fun to say, but it is the reality of the matter, and it's something that a lot of our customers live with every day. And I never want to trivialize that. And same thing with lupus. when you guys write me and tell me, I have lupus, discoid, or SLE, I hear you, because that stuff runs in my family. My own maternal grandmother died from it. I never got to meet her. It caused a huge hole in my family. My great grandmother had it, and so I mean, and my Aunt Kitty and my grandma had a sister named Pat, who, so I mean, two of the sisters had it. Basically, Aunt Kitty was the one that did. Aunt Kitty and Aunt Martha didn't get it. Or no, Aunt Kitty and Aunt Mary, sorry, didn't get it. So, but yeah, it's, so I mean, I hear you when you say you have, lupus too, because all these things are really hard to live with, and they do kill people. Like, that's a terrible thing to have to start a Monday with, isn't it? But it's true. It's something we don't take lightly, because you can't take it lightly. So, but I want to let you know that that's what's going on down here. I mean, we've been trying to make the most of it. Like, we've been walking the beach and stuff like that, and taking, photos of me and my beach hair and stuff like that, because honestly, I my Aunt Katie would have liked it that way. Yeah. As you like to say, she lived life with shining teeth.
She ate life with
shining teeth. And so, she would not want us to just sit around and be mopey, but it's hard to not be mopey. Yeah. But we've been kind of forcing ourselves to get out of the house and walk around and that sort of thing. So it looks like he's got a little bit of sun. I don't, because I bathe in sunscreen. I mean, I have to, because I'm like a ghost. I don't even tan. I just freckle really badly.
Well, I thought I'd put enough sunscreen on my face. Apparently,
it's
I hadn't.
Florida. You never have enough sunscreen on.
Walls, ceilings. That's
ceilings are excellent
good
sunscreen.
Good sunscreen there.
Yeah.
That's a handy health tip from your Uncle Nigel.
Uncle Nigel.
Yes.
How old do you think they are?
I don't know. You can have uncles that are only a couple years older than you. Okay.
Do you hear that, ladies? He's saying you all look very young and fantastic.
Yes.
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 Okay. So, yeah, that's what we've been up to. So we're dealing with that. And then the other thing that's kind of stressing me out is the fact that you have to go back to England. Do you want to tell them about that at all?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. When we had the whole marriage problem in December, you can see it in some of the previous videos.
Long story short, we ended up having to have a commitment ceremony instead of a legal wedding, because he is still waiting for his visa application to finish being processed.
Yeah, the fiancé visa paperwork is taking
forever.
A lot longer to process than we were initially led to believe. So, foreign nationals such as myself are only allowed to come over for a maximum of 90 days to the U.S. On a traveler's visa. And so I now have to go back to England and wait for them to get to the point where I can go to the consulate for the interview and get approval or not, as the case may be. I don't see much of a problem getting it done, but I still have to wait 2, 3, 4 months before I can get the paperwork sorted out, and so Heather and I are going to be separated again for a little while, but you're planning on coming over to visit.
Yeah, well, and you might be wondering, why don't I just go with him? Well, because spring collections are in full swing, and while I have a staff, one thing I've been trying to really emphasize in our videos this new season is that we're really small. Like, we might be competing with really big stores like Wilshire Wigs, Name Brand Wigs, Wigs.com, Vogue Wigs, just to name a few. But, I mean, just because we're competing with them in the same space and our website looks pretty good, patting myself in the back there. Yeah. I did good, I think. But anyway, like the just because I'm a pretty slick web designer, or at least one in the making ish, like that doesn't mean that we're, you know, heavily staffed or that we're super huge. We're still pretty small compared to most of these other operations, and I still do a lot of this stuff very hands-on, even though we have really great managers in place now, and you probably interact with some of them, Lucas, John, Kelly, Carrie. They're wonderful, and they really do help out a lot in the store. They've got great ideas, but I still do a lot. And, you know, I am in the middle of coordinating with a couple of the brands to go visit them and talk to them about some ideas I had, and I have to be able to basically fly where they're located, which is in the US, and that's much less expensive to do from here than it is from over there. So while I could go to England, I don't want to have to go to England, then to Philadelphia, England, then, you know, SoCal, England to Florida, and all over the place, just because I have to visit these folks for promotional stuff that I'm working on. So, or, you know, some ideas I had. So I want to get that stuff out of the way, and then I'm hoping to be able to join up with him again in May. And then stay with you in the UK until the whole thing's done. Yeah. Come back here, get hitched. And hopefully that'll be more or less the end of it. I mean, there might be a couple more steps to that you know, we don't even know about yet because the website's super confusing. But
bureaucracy.
Yay! But yeah, so we're trying to do everything to the letter of the law, the absolute best that we can. Yeah. We want to, you know, even if it's brutal and it's really uncomfortable for us, we want to make sure that we don't screw this up somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's a work in progress. We're still committed to it. So the Heather and Nigel videos might be, you know, coming down to a trickle and sort of slowing a bit.
Yeah.
But we'll keep making updates so that way you guys know where we're at with things. And he's still going to be contributing to CysterWigs. He's going to help us out with some social media stuff, especially with the YouTube channel, because he loves communicating with people in the comment section, especially in the videos he's in. So I wanted to give him the ability to do that. So don't be surprised if you see a response from Nigel once in a while, because he's been really looking forward to communicating with you directly.
Yeah, you've been very kind in your comments, and I appreciate that. I really do.
Oh yeah, he gets a huge kick out of them. So I do too, really. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, he's so hot and British and has this voice and ooh la la. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Haha.
That's why she likes me.
Yeah, well, among other things, he's super awesome. So. It's true though. Like during this whole thing, he's been super supportive and comforting, and you're just like a rock star at being comforting. You're very good at that.
One does one's best.
He doesn't ask; he just goes in for the hug. So it's very nice, really. It's been wonderful having you here. I know it's been super morbid, but I know, for instance, like more about my Aunt Kitty. Like, she really wanted to come to the wedding. She bought a ticket. Her and my Aunt Martha, they bought tickets. And they were going to fly up to Ohio to come to the wedding. She bought us a card and the whole shebang, and then she couldn't fly. She wasn't feeling well because this was in December, and she just didn't feel well enough to fly. And about a week later, they put her on oxygen. So I mean, she was going downhill.
Yeah.
But it really upset her that she couldn't come. So, I mean, originally this is how sad this is. Originally, we had planned to come down here just so she could meet Nigel. Mm. And I swear to you, I don't know if any of you have had friends or relatives that have gone into hospice or something like that. But it's a weird thing with folks at end of life sometimes, because they will sometimes have this thing that they're waiting for, whether it's like New Year's or Christmas or Thanksgiving or, you know, a birthday, but they have this thing and they're going to hold on for that day. And then when that day is over, they basically go downhill quickly and that's it. You know, it's like they have the rebound, you know, where they put forth their brave face and they want to make the most of things, and then they just crash afterwards. And I've heard that happens a lot, because I have friends that work in hospice, and it's very common apparently.
And well, that's one thing no one ever told me about, that people near the end of their lives have a brief rally and they look like they're getting better, and then the end happens. And I wish someone had told me that before my father passed away a few years ago. But
Yeah, because you get your hopes up.
You do. You get your hopes up. You're thinking, the end's in sight. It's going to be okay. Things are going to be okay, and then they're not.
Yeah.
But that's an important thing to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happened with my Aunt Kitty. And I swear, I think she was just waiting to meet Nigel. I really do think.
Well, I'm very glad I got to meet her because she's a stellar lady.
Because literally within 2 days after we left, she was gone. Well, no, it wasn't. Well, she went asleep in 2 days.
Yeah.
Didn't wake up.
Yeah.
So, but it took about 5 days after we left. But I mean, she wasn't responsive pretty much after the day after we left.
No.
So, it does seem quite a bit like she was just kind of hanging on to say hi to us and give us the card because apparently that meant a lot to her. Yeah. From multiple sources, we've heard that meant a lot. Mm. And then after that, she passed away. And I'm just happy she got to meet you because I know.
Yeah, I'm happy I got to meet her too.
And she would tell me over the phone how much she wanted to meet you. Mm. So. Except when she was a very sarcastic person, so she had a great.
Another reason I like her.
She had a great sense of humor, and so like it would always end up in this sort of dialogue where it'd be like, "What do you really want to come out?" Well, duh. And she would just duh me into submission until we got down here. So yeah. That's what's been going on. And so we're staying down here to help with, whatever we can, basically. Yeah. And so at the same time, it stinks that we're spending our last couple weeks together dealing with funeral stuff.
Yeah.
It still feels like it's the right thing to do.
Well, yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so... But again, we're still trying to make the most of it. We're still going out every day and walking around and, trying to see things. Mm. Especially the day Aunt Kitty died. When we heard that she died, I was like, right, let's go get a beer. Because that's what Aunt Kitty would have done. Yeah. So we went to a beach, and we drank lots of, I didn't drink that much because I have this sleeve, but...
Yeah, you drank as much as your stomach would allow.
Oh, which was not much.
Which is not much.
About half a drink, probably, but...
Yeah, but...
He made up the difference.
I took up the slack.
Yeah. Oh.
Sea shanties may have been involved.
Yes. The British pirate part came out. Yes. So, yeah. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on, but that's what we're up to now. And we're probably going to make a separate video because I want to talk about some of this wonkiness that's been going on with the price increases with some of our brands. Because trust, it hasn't been coming from me. This is not a Heather initiative. This is top down from our supply chain, and I'm not super psyched about it. So we'll talk about that in a separate video, though, because it's like, seriously, when it rains, it pours. So, right? All right. So let's end this one.
All right. Thanks for watching. You've been super.
You said that like a used car salesman. You've been super.
Thanks for watching. You've been super. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Oh, God, I have no response to that. All right. I love you guys.
Thanks, folks. Bye.
All right, bye.